Hey, hello, good day, everybody. Depending on where you're listening to me from or watching this video from, I want to say you're welcome to this week market analysis. So this week, I want us to look at the market again. Like I always say on this channel, as a trader, you want to take the weekend to refresh, okay? To take, to not only refresh. That's the first thing you want to refresh. And then another thing you also want to do is to also look at the market and also look at what you did right the previous week. All right. And also what you plan to do this week. And that's why for some time now I've been putting together this weekly market analysis. And I've been getting some mails and some comment as well that shows a lot of people are following, and I really appreciate that. I would say that let's jump right in. All right. So if you look at I'm on DXY, all right, my usual. I always check this dollar index. You see that dollar has bounced for like 3 days. We're bouncing around at 7.5. Like I mentioned last week, that as long as this trend line holds, we might, continually see the dollar index keep pushing to the downside. All right. Why? Because inflation reports coming out of the US wasn't good enough. The CPI, the core CPI wasn't looking too good. Also, I think what is really keeping the dollar, on this downside for so long is actually the report that is coming out about about the interest rate. There's a lot of speculation that the Federal Reserve are going to cut, they are going to cut the interest rate by September 17 when they are in the next FOMC meeting. So, and that's why a lot of people have been selling off the dollar. All right. So, and also the tariff issue, which Jerome Powell, which is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, has been, consistently talking about the reason why, the dollar has been down. Okay. And that's why if you look at what the chart is doing ordinarily, technically, technically, the dollar should be pushing up because if you go to the weekly time frame, you notice that we look like we are bottom, right? Around the 96.4. But fundamentally, the speculation around the dollar is very bearish. It's very bearish. And that's why we've been, uh, um, bouncing around this zone for some time now. I would say that let's look at how other instruments have been reacting to the dollar based on that fact. Let's look at Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin, last 2 weeks ago took off from here. That was 111,000 and went all the way to 123,000. I took a sell around this zone and then I came out, I think like it was yesterday around there. So because I know that Bitcoin is pretty bullish, especially in the wake of this interest rates reduction that is coming up by next month. So every risk asset like Bitcoin, people, crypto is a very sensitive instrument to interest rates, and then we're expecting that fundamentally, anytime if you look at Bitcoin history or crypto history for the past 10 years plus, anytime we have interest rates reduction like that, Bitcoin always took off. So always take off. That's why I'm very careful about just selling Bitcoin. When I'm selling, I'm very very careful. Why? Because I know Bitcoin is still very 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 bullish. The same thing with gold, but we'll come to gold later. So my point is we are sitting right now around 115,000. We go to the 4 hour time frame. You see that we've been bouncing around this weekend. All right. We're bouncing around on these spots this weekend from 115,000, 116,000. Now we're pushing around to 118,000. So tomorrow we look at what the market will. But like I said, Bitcoin is still very, 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 very bullish. Any opportunity for a pullback is an opportunity to buy. If you take your fee, you notice that this is precisely below this 50% retracement. Fibonacci is a very good point to buy, to keep buying Bitcoin at this spot. It's a good spot to take a buy. All right. If you are trading futures or probably you are trading Bitcoin on the short term basis, it's not bad taking a buy around the zone and having your stop loss below the support. All right, that's for Bitcoin. So let's see what gold has been doing as well. Gold also, we have that pullback. Why every other asset has been pushing forward. I wonder why gold has still been ranging. It's still ranging between 3,100 and 3,005, around 3,400, 500. I expect it to have taken off from here, especially after that NFP report. That actually shows that the probability of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rate is around that 94% now. you know I expect gold to have really really taken off, but then we still keep having this pullback and it's still playing around this zone. All right, for me, I'm still bullish on gold. So if I see a very very good pullback, probably to the zone around 3,121 or to 3,240, and I see a very very good bounce around that area, around this area. Let me highlight it for clarity's sake. If I see a very good bounce, you know, as a matter of fact, the more gold pull back, the better it is for it to shoot up. All right, if I see something that looks like this, all right, and then I keep seeing that bounce, I'll take a buy around there. I might stop loss below this zone, and wait, because gold is bullish. However, if price keep coming down, instead of that bounce, let's say the first bounce, it's not jumping on the first bounce. If I see price keep doing this, take out this low and come to this zone, I'll be looking for opportunity to see a better confirmation on this low, which is around 3,100. All right, before I take a buy. So that is that for gold. The more you pull back, the better it is to look for a buying opportunity, because if we go to the weekly, you will understand what I'm saying. This is a clear. I think I explained this like some couple of weeks ago. This is a clear bullish bullish instrument. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, this is clear. Even a blind man can see that this is actually clearly pushing to the upside. All right. I would say that let's move into currency. This video is getting too long. All right. So let's check pounds USD. Pounds USD has been pushing forward. We had this pullback. We had this pullback from that was in around that July, at the beginning of the month, and then price after NFP, the first Friday of August, price has been pushing to the upside. That's for the pounds USD. However, I took some buy. I think I mentioned it here like 2 weeks ago. I wrote this buy up to this point. If I come around this area, let me go see. I think I'll be able to see properly on the 4. Okay. Yes. After this particular here, I entered around this zone, and I rolled it up to this point before I come out. So right now for pounds USD, I'm not holding any position on pounds USD. Therefore, I will be I'm sitting on my hands right now to see what price wants to do around this zone, around that 1,379. All right. Except I see a clear breakout of this zone. I see a clear breakout and a break and retest of this zone before I can, be looking for another buying opportunity. Any other than that, any other thing that I'll be sitting on my hand to see how price reacts around this zone, especially in the wake of this interest rate reduction that is coming up. I'm sure I'll be keeping this on my radar for now. The same thing with Euro USD, same thing as you can see, it's pushing to the upside. As well, Euro USD actually had this push. Why? Because of this push last week, because of the news that the president of the United States is likely to broker a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. But we didn't. But as at Friday, after that meeting, the president of the United States came out and said there's no deal. So tomorrow, or later today, when market opens, I expect a reaction, because people started jumping on euro. If you notice, all euro derivatives, on if you notice, all pairs that has the euro currency kept pushing up from Thursday night into Friday. So because everybody was expecting the United States president to broker that deal between Russia and Ukraine. So we're expecting something to look like this probably after that day. But then at the end of that meeting, the president of the United States came out and say there was no deal. So we are likely to see probably a pullback. People start selling off the euro when market open on later today, right? So, but then I would say that the same scenario is playing out for me for EURUSD. I'm sitting on my hands watching what will happen around this zone. This zone is very crucial. This place I highlighted at 1.18. I want to see what price will do there before I start jumping on a trade for EURUSD. If I see a break of structure, a proper break of structure, and a retest that do this, I'll join a buy on EURUSD. All right. However, if I see something that looks like this and price keeps bouncing off from here, I'll be looking for a selling opportunity around this zone to ride price to the downside. All right, that's for EURUSD. So for let's take the Japanese pair. I think I posted this on the Telegram group for last week for JPY for pounds JPY for a sell. This quick sell. I took that sell. Let me and then I posted on Telegram channel, my Telegram group. If you have not joined us, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. Please make sure you join us on our Telegram. It's free. I'm going to be dropping the link in the description below. Ensure you do that and join us. So I jump on a sell. Yeah. I It's a quick sell, like I posted on the Telegram channel. I said it's a quick sell, and I'm out of that trade. So this week also, I'll be looking forward to see what price is going to do around this. For me though, pounds JPY is clearly bullish. It's clear. There's no two way about it. Any pullbacks and opportunity to buy. If you look at the JPY especially for pounds JPY for the past couple of years, I think I did analysis on this some times ago. As you can see, you see that it's bullish. I think since around 2020, we've been bullish for pounds JPY. So and then you will notice that what we normally have on this pair is we have pullbacks. What we have been having is higher low, all right, which is the characteristics of what of a bullish market. Price, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, and then keep pushing to the upside. And then you can see that price has kept pushing to the upside since 2020. So this is a bullish instrument. So for me, if I see an opportunity, if I see a pullback, I'll be happy for pounds JPY as well. I would love to see a scenario where we really pull back to this zone, back to this support. And then I can, be looking for a buying opportunity. Better still, if we break out from this support to the downside, wow, I'll be so happy because, of course, that means it's building momentum to put to the back. It's building a very solid momentum to push back to the upside. All right, that's for pounds JPY. So for USD JPY, it's the same scenario. The same scenario. If you look at the weekly time frame, all right, over time, the past couple of years, all right, you see that we've been extremely bullish. All right, price, breakout, break structural pullback, break structural pullback, break structural pullback. And the same scenario has been playing out for some couple of years right now that's for USD JPY. So lastly, I want us to look at the indices. I think I've taken a lot of time on currency. Taking a lot of time on currency. I would want us to look at indices. Yeah, I took the sell on one of my account. I didn't post it in the group, however, because I'm very, very careful with selling indices. But I took that sell around the zone for indices this week. So like the same as you can see, is because of the way the US economy is, tariff, interest rates, a lot inflation, a lot is going on right now. You can say that we've seen stocks, the US stocks market kept this NAS 100, all right, which is a combination of one of the 100 most powerful tech companies in America. And that's why you see that because of the way the economy is right now in the US, a lot of uncertainty. Like I mentioned, when we are looking at the XY, the indices and stocks have been pushing to the upside. They've been on a tear. They keep printing all-time high after all-time high. We have this all-time high broken February 2025. Wait, this another one that's been broken again. Just last week. All right. And then you will notice look at this chart. This is an absolute tear. It's an absolute tear. After we have this major pullback in March when the president of the United States announced tariff, we bottom around there 17,200. Price has been a tear. It's been pushing to the upside like crazy. So like mad. So basically, what you want to look for is a pullback and you jump on a buy. So also I'm praying that also, just like I mentioned with gold, that we actually pull back to the downside as well. So that it will give us opportunity to enter a buy. All right. I'll be calling it a day right here. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful trading week. Thank you. Bye.